Thank you for meeting with me to talk about the MA Leading for Education Advantage. I'm really interested in your perspective on the course and, importantly, the impact upon your setting and the students within your setting. So I'm just going to ask you a few questions about the course and be really interested in your perspective. So first of all, just want to tell me a little bit about yourself and your role and the demographic of your school.
Yes, so my name's Debbie. I'm currently an assistant principal for Behaviour and People Development in a secondary school in Halton, which is in the northwest of England. My career to date, I've been a head of PE, I've been in the pastoral, and I just think I've wanted to stay with supporting the pastoral side within secondary schools.
Okay, so far within the MA, because you're coming towards the end of the programme now, just about to embark on your dissertation, what have been the highlights for you?
There have been many, and I'm not sure I would have thought that at the very, very beginning. Having an opportunity to come together with like-minded colleagues who have also wanted to learn aspects of leadership theories, leadership styles, but more so with that slant on leading for improvements in supporting those who are disadvantaged. An opportunity to reflect, I think, in our careers, in our jobs in education. Schools are very highly pressured environments. We don't often have, I think, as teachers, time to sit down and look at what current research is out there. So for me, in my behavioural role, I've looked at things such as attachment theory, and the module on social and emotional leadership was outstanding. It changed my whole outlook of how I would support students and other heads of years, and we put things in place due to what I learned from that course. So opportunity to reflect, become up to date with the most up-to-date research, and then putting some of that into practice in school has definitely been advantageous.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much, Debbie. I mean, I'm also interested because, of course, you had quite a break, hope that I'm saying, from academic study, and how you found that transition coming back into academic study at level 7, and how you found that Liverpool Hope supported you in that process.
Yes, it was. I think Liverpool Hope really supported all of us really well, because I felt a little bit anxious knowing that I went straight to university from A levels, and you question yourself, wondering if you can put an academic assignment together. Do you remember how to do all the referencing and things like that? So right at the beginning, Liverpool Hope put our minds at ease, put some sessions in place of how to use the library. It was very different from my early 20s to now, with all the online libraries and resources. So I couldn't fault actually Liverpool Hope and the team for just allaying those fears and worries at the beginning, and now I'm 3 assignments down, and it's obviously worked well.
Great, that's brilliant, thank you. Have there been any challenges for you, and if so, how have you overcome them?
There's not been many challenges, and I think that is because you can really tailor your assignments and your research around what we're currently doing in school. So it's mirrored, and it's not like I'm doing additional work. I'm just supplementing and maybe becoming more of an expert in my field, in my current role. Maybe one challenge is just, you say time. Sometimes I would sit down over a weekend and do a little bit of university work, and there's just that little bit of guilt that you think, oh, I could be doing something for school, but I've got to do an assignment. But then it's about mindset, because then you can pull it back and think it is still for school, because I've become an expert in supporting the students and the staff that I line manage. So really, when you think that, it's just about changing how you view on things. So it's been overall really positive.
That's brilliant, Debbie. Thank you. I'm so pleased because it is a challenge, isn't it? And I think, you know, it's partly around about how we manage our time. And as you say, it is about what you're giving back to the school. So I'm really pleased to hear that. In terms of your leadership and given the context that you're working in, how do you think the MA has contributed to the development of your leadership within the time that you've been studying it?
Wow, I line manage seven people directly in the pastoral team, from heads of year, an academic resilience centre that we have to support students, and the attendance officer. And I think anything that I now look to implement, because of the MA, it's taught me to have evidence-based research. I just share all the evidence behind the justifications and anything that I want to implement. And I think that definitely brings staff on board with you, and I think they feel a lot more reassured by maybe my leadership role, that they know they're not being asked to do anything without really good reason behind it. So I do think it's improved relationships amongst the team. The modules of leadership theories has enabled me to reflect on my style, but looking at the personalities and styles of those around me. And it's just allowed everybody to work more effectively. But equally and additionally, I've had opportunities to deliver to the training students, student teachers at Liverpool Hope, so having that opportunity to share what I've been experiencing. And then my school is a part of a trust, and I was asked to present the work that I've been undertaking on the module to the whole trust, to do with social emotional leadership for advantage. So within 12 months, I feel like I've really excelled, and I'm now having many opportunities to share.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much. And I think it was also really fantastic that members of the Hope staff were able to accompany you at the conference, and I'm really pleased that we've been able to work in partnership on that. I think really just two more things from me, and one is to ask, obviously you've talked about the impact on your school and on yourself. Is there anything else really to add there in terms of the impact on your school and your pupils? And then any advice that you might want to give anybody that would like to or is considering coming onto the MA?
Yeah. There's definitely been a direct impact on my role with behaviour. So we have reduced for example, we have reduced fixed term exclusions by 60%. In the last 12 months, we've had no permanent exclusions. And a lot of that is through trialling some new projects. And those ideas have come from the social emotional leadership module, looking at attachment theory, looking into the reasons for the behaviours, the effects of childhood trauma. So as a whole school, we've really adopted the things that, you know, I've learned on this course. Equally, if you're reducing fixed term exclusions, you're improving attendance. So all of that had a direct improvement for the school. And within 12 months, the knock-on effect has been a whole school improvement of Progress 8, going from a minus 1.32 for disadvantaged cohort right up to a minus 0.67. It's still not where we want it to be, but within a 12 months, we can just see the real huge jumps in improvements. Your question of speaking to those who may be considering the MA, it's the best thing that I've done in terms of CPD and professional development since I've entered the profession. I have been on other leadership national programs. I think the masters, you just have so much, you have access to so much up-to-date research and knowledge, but you can still apply it in any way. You've got the flexibility to apply it to your role in your school.
Okay, Debbie, just a final question then. Really, could you just talk through any advice that you would give to anyone considering the MA Leading for Educational Advantage?
Yes, I would really highly recommend anybody in education to undertake this module, or not module, the whole MA. And if that's not possible to maybe fund or find a time for the full MA, certainly look into some of the individual modules. It's different to the traditional, I believe, it's different to the traditional education leadership masters, specifically because it really does focus on disadvantaged settings and how to support the disadvantaged cohorts, which is on the agenda for everyone up and down the country, you know, internationally even. You know, when we all know that disadvantaged students start school behind their advantaged peers, and that gap continues, the performance gap continues to go throughout their school lives, which is really, really sad. And to really ensure that anyone who's continuing their educational journey as staff, we need to have a true lens on how to support these students. And I was overwhelmed by the feeling and what I learned on the social and emotional leadership module, so much so that I think it should be a compulsory module for trainee teachers, to have an understanding of child development and attachment theories and the effects of trauma, and how then that manifests in the classroom with various behaviours. When everyone truly understands that, I think everything else can start to maybe fall into place with the strategies and interventions we put in place. So if this does go out to anybody, please look at it, please consider it, and if you do choose to study, I'm sure you'll be very, very happy and very pleased.
Thank you so much, Debbie, for your time. I really do appreciate it. And it's just fantastic to hear what a difference it's made to you and your professional development, and also to your school, and most importantly, to the students within your school.